Alright guys, today we have a lot of things to talk about, especially with the bond market, Iran and Trump, because this is not just about stock and oil. This is about the bond vigilantes finally standing up and saying no. Since the start of this war, bonds have been selling off hard. That's the bond market protesting the government decision in Iran. When bonds dump like this, they basically voting against the policy. They saying we don't like what is happening. On Saturday, Trump came out with his big 48-hour ultimatum. Iran must open the Strait of Hormuz, or he will basically bomb everything, from power plants, energy infrastructure, basically everything. That's the escalation, right? And for a moment, that's add more fuel to the fire in bond, oil, stock market, and especially gold and silver literally crash. Let's take a look right now. Alright, on the screen we have Nasdaq. From the open to the lowest point was 1.8%. That's a decent drop. Alright, same thing with ES, SB 500 1.6. Alright. How about Russell? Russell down the most, 2%. But you think that's scary? Look at gold. Oh my god. What's happening? Gold down casually on Sunday, almost 10%. Down casually, almost 10%. Oh my gosh! I think it's happened like rarely, but it's just happening on February, and now there's another day. So gold and silver acting like a risk-on assets right now, and someday even more volatile for some reason. And check it out, silver down 12% last night. And check out the bond market. The bond market basically crashing, right? This is the very big move in a very short time, just 2 weeks. 2 weeks down 6.21%. It's a very big move in bond. So why they sell up? Because like I just said, Trump threatened them to 48 hours. And he threatened them on Saturday, so basically on morning Tuesday he will bomb everything. And then it's get crazier. Iran fighting back with its own ultimatum. Their parliament speaker said the US-linked financial institution holding American government bonds are now legitimately targets, right alongside military base. Think about that for a second. They are not just talking about tanks or base or military personnel. They're talking about the financial plumbing, the backbone of the US bond market, the spine of the US economy. Yeah, it's true, because as you know, we live on debt. We are like what, $39 trillion debt, national debt. So guess what happened? Trump gets scared, and I'm saying it very blandly, truly scared, because now this isn't just a regional war does not really affect the US. This is the direct threat to the financial system, to the confidence of the Treasury, to the very thing that's funding all of this, basically. That's why suddenly Trump ordered the Pentagon to postponed the military strike against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for 5 days. 5 days of pause because we don't know, right? And magically, at the same time, we start hearing that US and Iran has a very good and productive conversation over the past 2 days. So on the surface, you can say, oh, he tried to save the stock market. He tried to save the risk on his crypto family, gold and silver, stuff like that. No, actually, he tried to calm the bonds market because that's where the real fire alarms were going off. Bond Vigilantes has been dumping paper since the war started. They are punishing bad policy with higher yield. Then Iran openly threatened institution holding US bond. That's a line you don't want to cross if you're sitting in the White House. You know Trump loves stock, but he can technically let stock wobble, but he cannot afford a full-blown crisis of confidence in the US debt. And then what happened? Look, this is probably one of the most crazy candle you will ever witness in the history of the stock market. It's up 3.3% in 5 minutes candle. If I zoom in the 30-second candle, so now each candle is 30 minutes. Basically, the whole thing happened in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now it's get crazier. You see it pump? There's a rumor, right? Maybe it's not true, maybe it is. You see the volume? Why we have a spike in volume? Right? It's been very consistently low because it's a Sunday night, and then boom, a spike. Some rumor, maybe it's not true, right? Said this is banned by the stock market right here, and with ES. Where is it? By the ES, yeah, and you see the candle is actually lasts 1 minute only. This is 100% insider trading. You cannot fake it. They didn't try to hide it. And with oil, we have a dumping. But look at this. Somebody knew the news gonna come out, and they try to short the oil future, and it's a big volume. Yeah, and then magically they make billions and billions of dollars. All right, so what next? I will show you what next. Here's the news, right? Good news. US has been talking with Iran. The war can be over anytime soon. Blah 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 blah. And it pumped to 27 and 24,700. And this is the primary of why you don't buy on good news and you don't sell in bad news. It's we the heck out everyone. And if you think, alright, good news, I'm gonna buy it, you basically buy it right here in this candle, right? So you bought as the best price of the range that you buy, about right here. It's never come back, right? You can't just buy the good news and it's public already, not like Barron's. a public information, everyone knows it, and you just buy it, and then you profit on it. It's never happened in the history. You see the spike in volume around right here. They already positioned themselves. So when the news came out, what they did? They just sell. They sell into your face. You are the exit liquidity. So you never buy on good news and sell on bad news. All right, and it's went up a bit, and now it's deep. So everyone that's bought on that news right now is losing money. The market never gives you a good trade. The market never like to give you money, at least not easily. Market always takes your money. Repeat that. Write it down, and maybe put it somewhere you can see it every day. And then yeah, same thing with oil. Said oil gonna crash. It is crash, but it's never come back to this low ever again, and just dripping up. It's dripping up. On the screen we have bond. He say bond market today by said potential of ending the war. The funny thing is later today, about like 1 hour or 2 hours, Iran said there has been no talk, and then Israel said they didn't aware of the talk. So basically Trump just lying because he needs to save the bond market right now at this moment, and he just basically makes shit up. The question that I have, and maybe you can answer it for me, so what now? What if the bond come back to this low? Yeah, and then the Iran already know Trump weakness. They already know the US vulnerable point is the bond market. How we gonna go to war with them? Because now they're just gonna threaten us every day about the bond buyers or the bond holders. How can we go war with that kind of threat? He say the market right here, if it goes to this and went through and go to this low, what's gonna happen? I don't know, man. The market probably gonna crash 10% from here to here if bond indeed go back to this low. If bond really come back to this low, yeah, stock market gonna crash. And some people argue with me that stock market is really resilient because it's down just a bit. It's not like gold and silver. They down from the start of the war. They down like 30%. 36% last night on silver, and then 25% on gold. Stock down just like a tiny couple percentage. Like what? 4 or 5%? Is that like dip for ants? You know why? Because people bought the dip. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to my latest video and watch. Basically, everyone, you see the arrow, everyone think this is the dip. This is the dip to buy. They start buying. The big guy, the small guy, they start buying the dip because they expect this is because they expect what? This is the dip, then get higher. So they front run it. Now It's very dangerous thinking, because now everyone position themselves to a deep, and now if the deep keep dipping deeper, what they gonna do? Alright guys, so overall it's a very difficult time right now to hold any assets. I think every asset gonna doom together and run toward the USD. That's the phase one. The phase two is we have hyperinflation, and then the money will run from the USD to gold and silver. But because you can right now just buy gold and silver, because all right, let's see it. It's up, let's say from 2000 to like 5,600, and it's deep. Although it's very deep, a lot, it has a lot of room to deep. And can you sustain yourself if gold go back to 2000? Hey, don't say it can do. It just did 30% in 2 weeks. Yeah. And then silver, how about silver? The position is very favor of long. But what if it dipped to 30? And don't say it can dip to 30. It's 30 in 2025, last year. In 1 year it's go to 120. It can do 120 back to 30 in 1 year. So be careful. Don't fund run. We have to have signal. We need to have market confirmation to able to we need the market to start to agree with us before doing it. All right, this is Winston, and I will see you tomorrow.